One. Welcome back to Nerds Than Gym. I'm Marco.
I'm Brandon.
Today is January 27th, 2024. We are almost a full month through the year of 2024. Wild.
Kicking our asses.
Time goes by fast. I feel like I've done absolutely nothing this month.
Really?
Yeah.
Nothing?
Well, work.
Okay. Sleep?
Oh, sleep. Yeah, that's been probably about half the month.
Okay.
And it's not because of seasonal depression. It's called recovery.
A minor hibernation, if you will.
Yes. So we haven't talked in a couple weeks at this point. A lot has happened in the news world.
Hot water heater blew up.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you meant real news.
Oh yeah, real news. That not, but that happened too.
Well, I felt so bad because last week, I was just like, I got it replaced on Tuesday. Friday, it blows up at 5. We're supposed to podcast at 5:30. You call me and I'm like, hey.
And
buddy.
didn't you just get it replaced?
Yeah, it was a brand new unit.
How did it blow up already?
So I guess it comes in like 15 pieces. One of the pieces broke, so the fan just wouldn't turn on. They got a bad fan.
Oh, this sounds like the HP parts we get at this point.
Oh, literally. That's all I could think of. Is just like, if it's anything past a reboot, I'm not going to help you guys. Can't help you guys. And we got a huge cold snap, so I had like 3 space heaters going all at once.
This literally happened the worst time of the year around here. It was literally like single-digit temperatures.
Mm-hmm.
And then literally just a couple days ago, it's back in the 40s.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy.
So we had this span where it was a week of like 40, 50 degree weather. Then we get single digits. That's when your water heater breaks. Then we go straight back to the 40, 50 after you fix it.
I was telling the family, like, you never hear a hot water heater breaking in the summer?
Mm-hmm.
Or a boiler? Nothing. Never.
Don't they just leak a ton too?
Yeah, so I got a new one that doesn't. So a hot water heater, like, one day you would just walk into your house and it just flooded.
Yeah.
Because they just break. There's no way to tell if it's getting ready to break or it just breaks.
Yeah, they have like a lifespan of 10 years. Right as soon as it hits that 10 years, it's just... Because I remember that happened to us a few years ago.
It happened to my parents when I was growing up, too. It just dies.
So I forget what it was, but there was like a little bit of water I had noticed coming from the door for the boiler room. I go in. It was just this little stream, like nothing big. And then my mom was like, oh, shit.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, we got to start throwing towels down, getting buckets. She's like, we have to call a plumber now. And
Mother!
she's like, you don't know. She's like, you don't know what's about to happen in this thing. Oh, I lost your image.
Sorry, bud. Let me bring it back.
Oh, okay. Reading text?
Yeah, I was trying to be. It's my wife.
Oh, okay.
Uh-oh.
Don't tell me it's another emergency. I swear to God.
I will find a younger podcast partner. Just one day, just replace me with someone you call him Brandon. My name's Ryan. It's Brandon.
I'll do that to Trent.
Oh, there you go. I wouldn't even be mad if you replaced me with Trent. It's like, you know what? I'm going to watch this show.
So
We got to get Trent back on.
we do need
I feel like a remote podcast would be a good...
I know, like he can literally stay in his bed.
Maybe ask him to stay in his bed.
The From Bed podcast. But we do have nerd news that we need to hit up.
Small talk. Check.
Small talk check. Hey, I did it though.
It's not as fun because your transitions are so clean now. Before, I used to just laugh. So the podcast has gotten better, but my enjoyment has gone down.
Well, one day, I'm surprised it's not coming back today, considering I still don't feel 100%, and my mind is just kind of all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
But anyhow,
okay.
Fantastic Four news.
You know what's not fantastic, Marco?
What?
Megan Thee Stallion and Nicki Minaj are officially beefing.
Are they really?
They are.
Wait,
Megan dropped what some people are presuming to be a diss track yesterday.
Wait, who dropped it?
Meg.
Okay, why are they beefing though?
I'm not sure.
Because normally, like, there's a lead up to these diss tracks where there's there's beef that you can see behind the scenes that's happening, but it was just a diss track came out of nowhere.
That's what I'm gathering, but it's been an emotional roller coaster for us.
Has it?
Out here in the community, yes. The hip hop community. And what you were talking about is called BB. It's behind the scenes beef. BTB.
BTB, okay.
Yeah. It's not a real thing, but it could be.
Are you making a joke right now? What's happening?
I don't know what's happening, Marco. All I know is the world's shaken to its core about this beefing situation, and now we need to wait for Nicki's response.
Yeah, and they're not very talented rappers, so I don't think it's going to go too well.
Okay, well, that's just wrong. From the kid that doesn't listen to music. Don't love that take, Marco. He does not speak for Nerds in the Gym podcast or me.
Hey, if you want to stay on music news, Creed is doing a tour.
Oh, yeah. They announced tour dates. Is your mom going?
My mom may actually go.
I want to go.
You're going to see her at Saratoga Springs again.
The concerts me and your mom go to, we should probably just carpool.
Exactly.
Save some gas. And then I can do a podcast with her called Mother and Better Son. It'll be called I Never Cared for Marco podcast.
The son she always wanted podcast.
Joe's Stupid Friend Part 2.
But yeah, they're going on tour. My group of friends want to go on August 21st at the Boston one.
Yeah, why go to the one that's closer? Go to the one in Boston.
I think, well, we have a friend that lives in Boston, so we would crash there after.
Is it Mike?
No.
Who are these friends? Is Trent going?
No, this is a different group of friends.
Are these your ladies' friends that you're calling your friends?
Nope, this is different from her friends.
I'm shocked.
These are like my friends that I played baseball with growing up.
Okay, I mean, no judgment, bud. I'd like to go. I gotta get a crew together.
Yeah. Is Marina a Creed fan?
Oh, she loathes them.
Okay. So I'm.
But also, Sorry, go ahead.
So I'm not sure though. So when I was in the office yesterday, Nick had said, "Is it legit or is this just a meme?" Because apparently there was like a meme of people saying that they were touring again, and then they actually like made the meme a real thing and are setting a tour. Is that like the truth behind it, or?
I don't know about the meme, but the tour was announced a couple months ago, so yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's legit.
Okay.
Can you take me higher? And you only know three songs total. So the odds of one of them being Creed, you're just like, oh, this was these guys?
Well, so Andrew was listening to them in the office, and then Nick had brought up...
Because Andrew loves Creed.
And Nick is like, are you listening to fucking Creed? And I'm sitting there like, wait, I know that song. That's who Creed is?
I love Creed.
So he at some point during the entirety of the day, he had played the like 3 songs I knew. And I was like, wait, that's Creed too?
Well, Creed only has 3 albums, so you know their songs because they were radio songs, but also Three Doors Down. But also, talking about Creed's not really going to boost podcast ratings. So go ahead and go with your nerd news.
Okay. Fantastic Four is supposedly being rewritten once again. New writers are already on board. Script will be finished in a month or 2.
One, just cancel it or make Chris Evans Mr. Fantastic again.
Well, here's the thing, though, is we were talking about this a few weeks ago. How much does the media, like, actually... Obviously, we know about these things more now because of the media. Is this just typical writing and how a movie is produced? Like, is it something that we should actually be freaking out about?
I don't think so.
You don't think it's normal?
I think they do rewrites, but they have started over with this script like how many times in the last 5 years. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's just chaos. I think the problem is the Marvels didn't do well. The Marvel MCU is trending downwards,
Yep.
and they know they need a big hit.
And Fantastic Four has never been a successful IP for them in the movie world.
Right. It does okay, and then the last one tanked so hard.
Yeah.
It was out of theaters in like 2 weeks.
Well, I think that first one didn't do too bad, but it didn't get great reviews. And then the second one.
Second one did pretty bad. Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Yeah. And then they tried that reboot one that I heard was just god awful.
That was the one that didn't last 2 weeks in theaters, and they promoted it so hard.
Oh, really? I never saw it.
So it's kind of funny because Kevin Smith is a famous director.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to listen to he had like 15 podcasts.
Yep.
So those are the podcasts I listened to, and he was doing a 5-parter with that director.
Mm-hmm.
So they got done with parts 1 and 2, and they were going to do 3, 4, and 5 after the Fantastic Four release, and it never got released. The podcast, because like he just had to go into hiding.
Oh man.
So I mean, you got to be optimistic, but at this time, it's just like I get sick of hearing about things that never happen.
Yeah. Well, Marvel and Lucasfilm just struggling with their movies right now.
Yeah.
Like between Star Wars struggling and now Marvel just seems to be struggling with scripts.
Right. Well, I mean, it's tough to come up with a creative idea in the confines of a bigger universe.
Well, but it's also hard when you have 3 other Fantastic Four movies that aren't really a part of the universe they're trying to make them a part of. Like, I guess they are a part of it in a way now because of the whole multiverse, but they don't want to do the same exact thing as those 3 movies.
Right. So the problem is those movies you have to tell the story of how they became the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
So that's half your movie right there.
I don't know. They didn't explain to us how Spider-Man became Spider-Man in this.
So that was my point. Like, that's what I think they should do. Open up, have them be the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
And just hit the ground running.
Yeah.
I don't even care if they tell us or not.
Which, I don't know why they haven't tried, like, Black Panther, we got his introduction in Civil War. Same with, actually, Spider-Man.
Yes.
And we just got that they are these characters already. They are already that superhero. Mm-hmm. Why didn't they... Because, like, John Krasinski plays Stretchy? Is that who he played? Mr. Fantastic?
In
Doctor Strange 2? Yeah.
Cool.
Like, why couldn't they have just put in the entire Fantastic Four in that movie and had just established them as existing characters already?
Well, I think the problem is they just didn't know what they were doing with them.
Yeah.
So to do that would have had to put a plan in place and lock it in.
Yeah.
Which they don't seem to be fans of doing right now.
No.
I'm trying to think of what else I heard about that movie. Something else came out. But it's like, oh, let's just redo it again.
Honestly, it's probably somewhere in all these like tweets and stuff I bookmarked, but it's just a matter of getting to them. Because now we have like 3 weeks of information in here.
Yeah. My thing is with Deadpool 3 coming out this summer, I think too much is riding on it. I think what makes Deadpool great is just chill out, relax. It's a standalone thing. And now you got all these stakes, which I don't know is going to go well with it.
So Deadpool 3 is literally like a make or break movie for Marvel right now.
Yeah.
Like, it's the only Marvel movie they have this year.
Because they had to rework everything.
Yeah.
I think the Marvels movie, which I still haven't seen, I think it was a breaking point.
Yeah,
I think it was the point where they're like, hey, we can't make these if they're not going to make money.
I think Aquaman performed better than it.
Which is crazy because everyone goes, oh, it's Aquaman.
Yeah.
And it's the end of that universe and people still went to go see it.
Yeah. And now, this is even more insane because we have people jumping ship from MCU to go to DC, or at least want to. Because Zoe Saldana says that she would be interested.
Okay, hold on. Zoe
Saldana.
Saldano.
Oh, this may have... this may have a typo because it has two A's in there. Is it Saldano?
I think you did it right
Okay.
there.
She says she would be interested in a role in James Gunn's DCU. She would be so grateful, she said.
Which is crazy that she would be grateful when she's in like 3 of the top 5 performing movies of all time.
James Gunn's going to make some banger DC movies, and she's going to be in another like $1 billion movie.
How crazy is it that she does like T-Mobile commercials or whatever? Have you seen them during football yet?
Yeah.
Where she's like in a puffy coat.
Yep.
How crazy is it that she's in the like?
Literally,
You could
like,
argue
5 of the biggest movies of all time.
and then she's just like pitching like mobile wireless commercials.
Yeah.
Where she's like, oh, don't get her on a snow slope.
She literally does not have to work ever again.
She hasn't had to work since Avatar came out.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That's crazy. Like, that's what, a decade ago?
She was in the new one, too, right?
I believe so, yeah.
So, like, those two
She
movies,
could've-
Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame, those were 2 huge movies.
Yeah.
And then I do think there's another one in there, but then you have to take into consideration Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff. She's in all these movies that I think have grossed $750+ million.
And this is the thing, bud. Like, say she gets one more.
Yep.
She's in a lot of things. If she gets one more on that list, you almost have to give her one of the greatest actors of all time.
Yeah.
Like, right now, I would give it to her. Not everyone would. I would. Just for that alone. Like, you don't
Just
get
for
into
her
these
money
movies-
intake?
Just for the intake alone. Like, it's just insane.
I'd say she's the most successful. I wouldn't say
Okay.
she's the greatest.
And this is what's crazy is I don't know how she's not on the top earners list. I don't know how things work out as far as contracts go.
Well, she
But
is no offense to her. The movies she's been in haven't been the main character either. Especially when you get over to the Avengers movies. Like, I don't know how they quantify her paycheck compared to, say, Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans.
That one's tough because there are 75 characters.
Yeah, but you do want me to tell you something about that movie?
Rap to me, buddy.
So, Tom Hollander, the actor, do you know him?
Tom Holland.
Hollander.
Uh-oh. There's 2?
There's
Who does he play?
there's an ER at the end. He says that he was accidentally sent Tom Holland's box office bonus for the Avengers movie. And he said it was an astonishing amount of money. Not the whole box office bonus, just the first one. It was more money than I'd ever seen.
That's pretty funny.
But
Kind of a dick move to go out and say that, but
it is. But knowing Tom Holland, he probably would have spoiled it at some point anyways.
possibly. So maybe that's how they do it. They wait till the gross comes in after the movie,
Yeah.
and then they give out quote-unquote bonuses.
Yeah.
So
Okay, he hasn't really... Oh, wait, he's been in a decent amount of movies. He was in Bohemian Rhapsody. So,
I don't think I know the name.
yeah, he was in Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End.
Okay. That was like the 4th one.
Yeah, like, he has a long list of movies, so I assume
He just might not be the lead.
No,
might be.
exactly. But it's still like... I don't know how Spider-Man is quantified within that entire paycheck and splitting it, but you have to think like still probably it's still a large chunk of money.
Speaking of Spider-Man, we got Madam Web coming out soon, huh?
Madam Web is coming out, and there's Spider-Man 4 controversy happening.
I'm hearing a bunch of different things leaking out of the Sony camp.
Mhm.
I hear Kevin Feige wants to do a more grounded movie.
Mhm.
And then I'm also hearing Sony wants to just throw everything in the kitchen sink at the next one. They want to get Toby and Andrew back.
Yeah, so that's exactly what I've been hearing, and like I understand, like they definitely should do a Spider-Man movie, him just being Spider-Man on his own, without like the Stark technology and everything, and have it be more like, one of the Tobey Maguire movies or one of the Andrew Garfield movies without all the insanity. Because, like, having all that Tony Stark tech and stuff integrated in his suit did make it less grounded, I would say. Although it's hard when you're shooting webs out of your hands to really make something grounded, I guess.
Well, I mean, it's tough because you turn him into. I think they wanted him to be the next Iron Man, in theory,
Yeah.
and lead the Avengers. But the problem is Sony owns it.
Yep.
My thing is let Tom Holland do Spider-Man 3 solo. Go do your Spider-Man 3 with Garfield and Spider-Man 4 with Tobey, and then have them meet in 5-6 years,
Yeah.
or have Tom Holland make a cameo here or there.
I would love to see Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire back. I have
But you
heard...
can't just redo this movie again.
No, exactly. And I hear that there is a lot of, like, everybody kind of wants to bring them back in some way in Marvel's universe. Secret Wars is one of them, and the other Avengers movies.
Right.
I do like the idea, though. Okay, maybe have Tom Holland have his own Spider-Man movie on this next one without them interfering. But I would like to kind of see maybe not this whole multiversal battle that they had in the third one, but bring Tobey and Andrew in and have them just assist him and guide him to be the Spider-Man he needs to be for his world.
I mean, it's okay. I don't need that because at this point he's been Spider-Man for so long and has done so much.
Yeah.
My thing is just like Amazing Spider-Man 3 with Andrew Garfield is gonna be so sad and so like emotionally draining because there is nowhere for that character to go but up.
Yeah.
Amazing Spider-Man 2, the ending is so sad.
Oh, it really is.
It's so sad with just a dash of being hopeful.
Yeah.
Like just that little boy coming out of the crowd trying to take on the Rhino. So I think Secret Wars is going to be the way to go.
So apparently, too, they want to integrate something called the Web of Life that will help connect all Spider-Man universes. And this would make it easier to tell stories that span across the multiple Spider-Man universes. And this is potentially increasing the chances of us seeing Raimi's Spider-Man 4 and a Amazing Spider-Man 3.
I think so. I just think the Sony movies are going to start killing the momentum really quick.
What they could also do is give them all their own solo film, then make an actual live-action Spider-Verse movie.
Yeah, I'd be down for that. I'm thinking I almost think one of them should go straight to streaming.
Yeah.
And just take the profits that way.
Yeah. But I think that's all I have for the Spider-Man stuff.
No worries. I have some streaming movie stuff, but we can do it after the more nerdy-centric stuff.
Okay. We do have Daisy Ridley has been speaking on her return to Star Wars. So it does seem like, even though I heard that there were kind of rewrites and stuff happening, it was getting pushed back. It seems very set in stone that this movie's happening at some point.
That's the understanding I have. That's locked in. That she signed the contract, so it looks like it's moving forward.
Yep.
I just think it's time heals all wounds, I guess, because she got a lot of hate when those movies came out.
She got a lot of hate, and I feel like her acting performance was really good in the sequel trilogy.
But it happens a lot when you do Star Wars. You get almost blacklisted in Hollywood for a couple years.
Yeah.
Not everyone, but a lot of them.
Oh yeah.
So Natalie Portman, I read an article where she said a lot of her co-stars got blacklisted from Hollywood, and she did for the first year or two after Star Wars.
Yeah.
But then her agency was able to push her through.
Yep.
So, but there's just, if you look at the cast, what have they done lately?
Yeah.
There's a lot of them that have been sitting on the bench. So,
yeah.
One, good for her for going back to the role. And two, hopefully it leads to something more if she wants it.
But she did say the story is cool as shit. no spoilers, but the director gave me a rundown of the entire story. If it weren't amazing, I would have been like, okay, call me in 5 years. But it's worthwhile. And
Okay.
and she is somebody, I don't think she would just BS this kind of stuff, considering when they originally ended the sequel trilogy, she was just like, I'm done with Star Wars. Like, this was a nightmare for me.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this is legitimately a good story if they were able to pull her back in. Because
Yeah.
she had even stated a few years ago, like, even money can't bring me back to this universe right now. Maybe I'll come back in 10 to 20 years, but right now, no.
It's just such a shame. Because back in, not to say like back in my day, back in the day, so say you were a Disney kid
Mhm.
or like a Disney young adult, even in the 90s, like Disney worked with you once, they put you in like 10 different movies.
Mhm.
They weren't series, they weren't trilogies. It was like, I'm trying to think, The Kid from Angels in the Outfield was in every Disney movie for 10
Yeah.
years.
Yep.
How come Disney, who owns everything, can't just go like, hey, Daisy, here's this other standalone movie that has nothing to do with lightsabers?
Yeah.
How come she can't go find the spirit of Christmas?
Yeah. How
How
come
come-
she couldn't be in a Marvel movie?
How come Daisy Ridley can't be a strong, independent woman looking for love while working as a high point lawyer? And turns out she falls in love with the prosecution. I don't know, Marco. I feel like she has that range, and why can't Disney just make some movies for their actors? I feel like Disney uses their actors until they're done with them and then just kicks them to the curb.
No, because literally what Disney does is they keep them on for as long as they are cheap enough for Disney, and then when Disney says, you cost too much, they kick them to the curb.
Right. Which is crazy because Disney owns Fox.
But this is also why Disney changes the titles ever so slightly on their TV shows after 3 seasons.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's all money related.
Yeah.
That's why all those Netflix shows, like every other week, it's like, we're coming back. We're not coming back.
Yeah.
We're coming back. No, we're not.
Yep.
Have you checked out Echo yet?
I have not checked out Echo, but that's because I was so busy with Ted. The best TV show to exist at this point.
I have to stop complimenting your transitions because it does the opposite. But honestly,
That was a good one.
like proud parent over here, like nailed it.
I really had to think about it though.
You thought about it, you didn't like pause, like your facial expression, great. Marco, we're really close to having a morning show, like a morning radio show that you and me just get together from 4 a.m. to 7 a.m. before work and just do.
This is what people listen on their car rides to work.
It
Enjoy
is.
the commute, ladies and gentlemen, because we have our morning talk show talking about a bunch of stuff you don't care about.
Marco and Brandon in the morning. 107.5 The Puma. All right, we're going to throw it to Ted with traffic. But, okay, so Ted, correct me if I'm wrong, bud. I didn't know Ted was getting made until 2 weeks before it came out.
Yep. Same here.
They
we literally talked about it here on the podcast.
They dropped a commercial during the football playoffs,
Mhm.
and I was like, oh, that's hilarious. I can't wait to see it. I wonder when it comes out. And they're like, 2 weeks.
Yeah. Like, nobody had any idea this was being made. Like, I did not hear
Right.
about any behind-the-scenes stuff. Didn't hear about, oh, this is in production. They're doing writing. Seth MacFarlane's all in. It just...
Crazy.
It was just like, oh, you guys want to see how Ted and John became Ted and John? Watch the prequel series that's coming out in 2 weeks.
It should have been garbage, bud. There's no reason it should have been good.
Well-
And it was just, like you said, the best show on television.
Like, when I saw the trailer, I was like, it looks like it's okay, gonna have its funny moments. Doesn't look like it's gonna be something that, like, I'm going to absolutely love. But my God, I started watching that show, and it was just joke after joke. But it wasn't just like a joke where it's like, oh yeah, that's funny. It was laugh out loud. Like, I couldn't control my laughter at some parts. It was just so absurd.
It was just one right after another.
Oh yeah.
Like, a couple times I had to rewind it just to be like, what was that next joke I missed?
Yeah. And it's not only that, they are very, like, some of the jokes are super well detailed, but then there's a bunch of just the really stupid jokes that you get in Family Guy and everything, but they do this really nice balance of them to the point where you find both of them hilarious and you're never getting overloaded with a bunch of stupid ones or a bunch of smart ones.
The worst part about shows that are spin-offs or prequels or just remakes is always the added characters. But this show makes me care about John's family.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
no reason for me to care about John's family.
Oh, no.
They're not part of the story. There's no reason. And then somehow, all of them, just perfect.
Oh, my God, it's great. Like, and the acting performances by, like, the mother, so good. The acting performance by the father, so good.
Just ridiculous. Even, like, the cousin. Like, usually, like, the cousin, there's no reason, like, for her to have, like, a amazing emotional moment that I actually care about.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of, even when Ted and John aren't on the screen, I legitimately care about the plot.
Yeah. It's incredible.
There is no throwaway, like, time frame or moments.
But we were talking about this, too. It is so original.
Oh, yeah, for a
like,
prequel?
For a prequel, but, like, also in the sense of, like, it is 2024, and the jokes they were making, like, I can't believe they're making some of these jokes, but if you saw, the cousin in the show is used as a way for Seth MacFarlane to get away with making these jokes, but have her correct them.
Yes.
For these jokes. So, like, he does it very smart, but, again, so good. Like, these jokes were taking things to a level I did not think a show in 2024 ever would, but it did.
But also, if you think about it, because making it a prequel also gives them a layer of forgiveness because, it was a different time.
Yeah.
So the things they said were probably said in that time, but like you said, with that character correcting them, it lets them get away with a little more.
Yeah.
But it's also, when she corrects them, it's not like a bad thing.
No.
It's not like, we're slowing the momentum. It's even funnier that they don't understand.
Yeah. Like the entire, like, first scene of the show when they're talking about racial slurs or something, or just, not racial, just slurs in general. Because Ted says a racial slur. I think he uses a homophobic slur, too, at some point. And he's like, oh, wait, what was the other one I used?
Oh, yeah. But, and then, like, the episodes, like, stand alone at the same time. Like, when the VHS gets stuck.
Yeah.
In the TV. Like, that's just a classic sitcom, how do we fix the VCR? Put on steroids.
Oh, my God. But, man, like, I was just watching the episode last night with the weird guy that just shows up to the house that turns out he's not even the kid that was supposed to show up.
Oh, the Halloween episode.
Yeah. Like,
which, again, they could have done the entire episode of them just whipping eggs at kids.
Uh-huh.
And then mocking them individually for their costumes.
Yeah.
Like, when he goes, the Hulk doesn't wear the Hulk on his shirt. I lost it. I paused it because I was just laughing so hard because it's so true. He doesn't wear the Hulk on his shirt. Oh, my gosh. And again, spoilers for anyone that hasn't seen it, but if you haven't seen it, like, I binge watched it hard. Like, I don't have a whole lot of free time, and I made a point of...
I got so locked into that show. I was so excited every episode I watched. I hope they make a season 2.
You would think it did, like, incredible with the numbers.
Yeah.
So you'd almost think they'd have to do season 2.
Oh, man.
And Seth MacFarlane got in the news because the lead character of his, like, Star Trek knockoff show, the one that spoofed Star Trek, goes, like, we never got canceled, but Seth has to write Family Guy and American Dad and the Ted Show, so we get put on the back burner. So they're going to do season 4, but they do it, like, every other year.
We literally talked about this in the last episode, I think.
Did we? Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of remember if we brought it up.
Yeah, no.
But it's just, like, he's a very talented guy, and just, like, he must just never have any downtime. Like, when does he stop? Because he has to write 20 episodes of Family Guy a year.
But at what point does Seth MacFarlane just not have any more jokes?
You got me. I know he's got a team, but still at the same time. Did you notice in Ted, we talked about it a little bit last night, why did he use the Family Guy music?
I don't know, but
Does he own the Family Guy music?
He
And
must.
then he just gets paid for it? Because, like, there's no every time I go, oh, it's the Family Guy music.
I don't know, but I absolutely loved it.
Oh, man.
Um,
Or, like, how did they get away with that truck episode? It made me laugh so hard because you got to think, like, if it worked once to bring Ted alive,
yeah.
it's got to work again.
You know, I feel like that truck's going to come back at some point now. If there's a season,
you'd have to.
If there's a season 2, or if they ever do another Ted movie, that truck's coming back.
Well, that he's coming back, or even if it's just like him talking to him on the phone.
Yeah.
But like Ted 3, like how do you not do Ted 3?
I hope they do a Ted 3 movie. They get Mark Wahlberg back. They somehow run into the truck. The truck is now a drag queen.
Maybe. But also, like, I'm trying to think, because now the Ted movies are like back on the charts for like streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Peacock, hands down. I've been preaching it for a long time. Even if you're not a WWE fan, $5 a month to watch Ted. Do it.
I didn't have Peacock. I spent the $5 just to watch the show.
That's all you got to do.
And on top of that, Peacock's ads are not that bad. This is not sponsored, by the way, people. But for $5, for $5,
I don't think there's ads for $5. No?
The $5, yeah, $10 for no ads.
Huh.
I wonder if you got a deal.
I think I got a deal. I think I signed up for like 2 years or something.
So like I do for the month $5 on one episode of Ted. There's like 2 30-second ads.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
No. Whereas Hulu, you get like a full 4-minute ad thing every 5 minutes.
Yeah. Hulu with ads is impossible to watch.
Terrible.
Can't do it. But it's also funny because like HBO or Paramount, like they give you commercials with their ad-free one.
Yeah.
At the very beginning.
Yep.
Paramount you can't skip. HBO you can skip.
Yep.
But no, I hope they do more. I'm trying to think. Did you have a favorite episode?
Oh man, that's hard. Oh, that is really hard actually. Halloween episodes I really liked the Christmas episode actually.
So good. Which part in the Christmas episode? I'm trying to think.
There's so many
that's not the one they do therapy on Christmas, is it?
That may be the one where they do therapy.
Oh, okay.
But no,
episode,
therapy
right?
is a different episode, I think.
Okay, I think that was earlier.
Yeah, I think the therapy one is when Sue goes back to school.
Okay.
No, the Christmas one I found hilarious because Ted thinks that he's Jesus for a bit.
Oh, yes. Okay. So, yeah, it is the truck coming back to life because he kept saying thank you telling the truck to say thank you.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay. And then the mom got the karaoke machine. Yeah. No, that was good. For me, it's that Halloween episode, man. Something about
that
the way they
Halloween
set
episode,
up the creepy professor.
the creepy professor kills me.
Or even they tackle drunk driving.
Yeah.
Like, just ridiculous.
Well,
but again, those eggs
let's tell them we crashed and we were so upset about it that we just drank 9 beers. Oh, yes, Ted. That may be the smartest thing you said. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Or him just up as an Ewok and no one knows what he is.
What did they keep calling him?
It was Lawrence of Arabia, I think he got called once.
Yeah.
Just good stuff.
Oh, yeah, so good.
Again, I would have watched it once if they watched one episode a week. I would have tuned in once a week.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I'm happy they gave it to us all at once, but they could have easily.
Honestly, though, like, I don't even know if I can say I have a favorite episode because they are all so good. Honestly, the weakest episode may be the last episode.
It's tough to kind of wrap that insane story up.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm good. I think I should watch it again.
No,
Tell me there's a lot of jokes I may have missed. Oh, go ahead.
Do you know that Seth MacFarlane actually did motion capture for Ted?
No, I didn't. It was actually him this time?
Yeah.
Well, I remember watching the Wahlberg behind-the-scenes stuff. They actually just put a teddy bear for Wahlberg to act next to.
Mm-hmm.
So it's actually pretty impressive, and that makes sense why Ted was a lot more animated.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
So where we are in the world.
Oh, man.
Anything else you want to say on Ted? I got a couple.
No, I think I'm good on Ted.
You remember when you teamed me at work and said, can we do it? Yes, we can.
Can we do a yes, we can?
Yeah, it was a Bob the Builder reference.
Oh, yeah.
It was just a couple days ago.
Yeah.
So yesterday on my newsfeed pops up, they're doing a Bob the Builder live action movie.
I saw that too.
And I don't remember, was that PBS that did Bob the Builder? It was one of the lower channels for sure.
I think it was PBS because I think that's what we used to watch all the time when I was younger.
So does that build us Bob the Builder, Dora the Explorer cinematic universe?
That would be awesome.
See, this was your era. So, like, I was too old for Bob the Builder. So you're having a completely different reaction than I did. I was like, why are we doing this? And you're like, oh my gosh, it's about time.
I didn't really watch it too much though, but okay, so seasons 1 through 6 were on Nickelodeon Junior.
Okay, it was a Nick Jr.
Wait.
Maybe it was Nick Jr.
From 1999 to 2002, they pumped out 6 seasons. They had a season every 6 months.
Kid shows, man, they do it. They just pump them out.
And then
like it's nothing.
Then it moved to PBS Kids from season 7 all the way until the end.
So how many total did they do?
So they did. Well, this is confusing. So they had season 7 through 9 of the original series. Then they made Project Build It, which is like a spin-off, which is seasons 10 through 16.
Jeez, it was on for a lot longer than I thought.
And then they had a Ready Steady Build, which there's a 17 and 18th season, but then a mini series 1 and mini series 2 as well for it. So, yeah.
Okay, so I thought it was like 5 years and then they were done. I didn't realize.
No,
So are we... Serious question, Marco. Will Dragon Tales be part of the cinematic universe?
Dragon Tales is fire. And
I enjoyed that.
No, it does not. I get the pun now.
Oh, it wasn't an intentional pun.
No, I realize that now.
Sorry, I forget you're so much younger than me. You were a Dragon Tales kid, huh?
A little bit, yeah. My cousins more watched it, but then I watched it with them once in a while.
Okay, I kind of had the same story. My little cousins watched it.
Yep.
Question, Marco. PB&J Otter, go.
PB&J Otter.
Oh, you guys didn't get Disney, huh?
No.
That was the same era they used to watch PB&J Otter. So anyway, so that was my thing. I was just like, I don't know how we're getting a live-action Bob the Builder when, you know, that company that does, like, Blood and Honey and everything. How did they not just jump in and do, like, Bob the Construction Worker, and he just murders people with talking construction equipment?
Bob the Construction Killer.
BCK. Honestly, there's no movies coming out the last month and a half, so it could easily gotten 20, 30 million just because people are bored.
Oh, yeah.
So I saw that. So
realistically, I'm not excited for a Bob the Builder thing. It's like, I'm not going to watch it.
Oh, you're going to watch it. You're going to love it.
Yeah, okay.
Did you hear Netflix canceled another fully made movie?
They did?
Halle Berry has a movie, and I guess it's some sort of sci-fi movie. They didn't give me too much details. Completely finished. They canceled it.
Really?
And Halle Berry had like an MMA movie that was pretty decent on Netflix. But
Does she play Sasha Banks?
No, that's WWE.
Oh yeah.
Amateur. It's also the Royal Rumble tonight, so come correct.
Ooh.
Now that you have Peacock, you can watch it.
Yeah.
Sorry. Well, you got the cheap one. You might not get it. Anyways, so it's fully made. They canned it because they wanted to do reshoots, but with the kids that were in the movie with her are too old to do reshoots. They all like don't look the same anymore. They hit puberty and just went. So it's kind of like that Mutants movie where they did reshoots for like 5 years, and then they were finally like, these kids are 10 years older.
This happens way too often.
Yeah, just make a movie, put it out. So now it goes into the world of like John Cena versus the Looney Tunes, Batgirl. Yep. And now this movie. Just give me the movies. I'll watch them.
Yeah.
The idea that you canceled them makes me want to watch them more.
Yeah.
Amazon Prime released a couple trailers yesterday. Zac Efron will now This premise is him and his two friends. Andrew Santino is one of the friends. Every year they lie to their wife and say they're visiting their friend who's really sick.
Yep.
And have you seen the trailer?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay. I can't think of the name. You might have to look up the name because my screen will go blank if I do. So anyway, so they go to Vegas every year and party. So this year they say their friend's got cancer. It's come back. They're going to go visit the hospital. Andrew Santino's wife is having a baby, needs him to get there ASAP. So they call every hospital in Las Vegas and they're not there. So they have to hire John Cena to be their friend and show up for a week. And then he just integrates himself into their lives, like shows up at their work. Just a good buddy, funny comedy. I'm excited.
That sounds good.
And you know, John Cena, this is funny John Cena, so this is going to be legit. I think they find him in Vegas as like he does like an 80s rock cover band. And he goes full method actor. So they go like, oh, our friend Jeff or whatever his name is sober. So he decides to quit alcohol cold turkey.
Yeah.
And then gets on an airplane.
Okay, I can't find his filmography right now.
You probably spelled that wrong. But anyway, so that's coming out, so I look forward to that. But what I'm not looking forward to, Marco, is they're remaking Roadhouse. Trailer dropped on Friday as well. Jake Gyllenhaal plays the Patrick Swayze role, and the villain, henchman, is Conor McGregor.
Yeah, and Conor McGregor isn't even really acting in that, it seems. It looks like he's just being himself.
But my problem is the second you get the most famous fighter, arguably in the world, you take me right out of it. Because I know Gyllenhaal would die in 2 seconds.
Oh, yeah. So is Gyllenhaal going to be the one that wins at the end of this movie?
Yes. So why? And honestly, buddy, have you ever seen the original
McGregor
Roadhouse?
agreed to this.
A little bit. But it's Amazon bud, so they gave him Amazon money. And I was talking to Trent about it. Gyllenhaal's like a legit good actor. Why would he do this? One, the original Roadhouse is a masterpiece. Never touch it. And two, the premise doesn't make any sense in the 80s. It doesn't make sense now.
Well, as you see, they utilized, it was after one of the UFC events, they did the recording for one of the scenes there with all the fans and stuff still there. That was terrible. Like, I know, like, it has to be shot the way that they want to show it in a movie, but it looked so unrealistic. Like, Gyllenhaal's arms are down, and he just takes, like, 5 punches in a row and is, like, staggering and wiggling, and then he comes back from it, and then he knocks the guy out, gets pulled away from the ref, blows through the ref, starts punching, kneeing the guy in the head more while he's on the ground, and then the ref just kind of gives up.
I don't know. My thing is, like, I get, like, so my thing is, like, you put it in the real UFC.
Yeah.
So now you're taking me out of it more because I know Jake Gyllenhaal's not in the UFC. So anytime I go to try and watch a movie and you're actively pulling me out because they're like, oh, it's more realistic. It's the exact opposite.
Yeah.
And I feel bad because Gyllenhaal looks like he went into crazy shape. He's like probably even more ripped than he was in Southpaw.
Yeah.
You remember Southpaw Gyllenhaal?
Yep.
Like, this is insane.
Yep.
So it looks like he put a lot of work into it, and it's just like, I didn't want it when they announced it, and the trailer made me want it less.
Yeah.
And it's going right to Prime, which now has commercials unless you pay for it.
Yeah.
So that's a little bothersome.
It is what it is.
All right, bud. How we doing? How are we doing on time?
We're at 48.
Okay, look at us go.
Actually, 49-ish. There's a couple more things. Did you ever watch Squid Game?
I'm familiar with the premise. I did not watch it. The missus did.
Apparently, season 2 is releasing this year.
In Korea?
Well, I think they release it at the same time as here. They just do the American dubbed version.
Really? Okay, that's pretty cool.
Well, I think with how popular it was here, they're doing it at the same time.
Okay.
So, and Netflix owns all the rights to it.
Really?
Yeah, so
I wonder how that worked out.
No, so the director has had the script for like since 2008 or something. Originally, it started off as a movie. Nobody would pick up the script or the idea. Eventually, he made it into a TV show, pitched it to multiple places, and the only place I gave him a chance was Netflix. And then it became like the biggest product Netflix ever released.
One of them, yeah. So I didn't realize Netflix owned it. I thought
Yes.
Netflix found it overseas, and then we're like, "Hey, let's make a deal." So no, Netflix owns it.
I think
Yeah.
Netflix owns it entirely. So, because I think the last one was released on Netflix right away. It wasn't like, oh,
Mhm.
released in Korea, then over here.
I didn't realize. I thought it
Yeah.
was. There's been a couple movies that get released in Korea and then get a U.S. release
Yep.
with the dubs and everything. So, I mean, that's gonna take the world by storm
And
if it's
I
any
think it
good.
was super cheap to make too.
Um, I'm trying to think. From what I hear, it's more psychological, right?
Yeah. Its budget was 21.4 million
Okay, for season one,
for season 1.
that's honestly not too bad
No, it's not.
for a TV show.
Yeah.
So, but you know, they make one bad season, that's over, right? Netflix does it. Netflix cancels their popular shows.
To be
You have to.
fair, with how season 1 is, I don't know how season 2 is like going to be story-wise cuz it seems very difficult to make a season 2.
Would you recommend me watching this show?
I would. It's very dark. There's no humor, but
Okay.
it is very well written.
And you did the American dub, or should I read the original?
I did the American dubbed version.
Okay, because I kind of want to watch the reality show they made.
I heard that's terrible.
I hear it's terrible, but I also heard Netflix is getting sued by like 50 people
They were
because
like
of
getting like hypothermia and stuff during the game.
right
God, it's hilarious.
Squid Games. Bulk up. No, you want. So what I've been watching after I got done with Ted. So it's a show on Apple TV, and I don't know if I should recommend it to you or not. It's called The Morning Show,
Is
and
that the
it's
one with Jennifer Aniston?
so it's Jennifer Aniston, Steve Carell,
Yes.
and oh no, I just had her name in my head. 1996's Batgirl.
Isn't it based on like a true story?
So it's pretty much loosely based around the morning show, is what they call it. But the Today Show, when Matt Lauer got busted in the Me Too movement,
Okay.
so it's pretty much loosely based on that. But it's really good. Again, not funny at all, but it's actually pretty dark and they hit on
Yeah.
some real world topics. But like, just such good acting.
Yeah.
Like your show with Harrison Ford there has some laughs. This has very few laughs.
Shrinking season 2 is getting filming this year, I think.
Will you do me a favor? Just type in Batgirl 1996 and give me the
Batgirl.
actress's name. I feel so bad.
Is that
She was
the
in
one
Clueless.
with
Reese Witherspoon. Got it. Sorry, Reese Witherspoon.
Is
That was
she
gonna-
the one that's in the what's his name? No, it's not Michael Keaton. George Clooney's Batman.
Yes,
Okay.
back when she was a teenager. But then she
Yeah.
did like Legally Blonde and all these other movies. So she's
Yeah.
a legit great actress, and I felt bad I didn't remember her name. But honestly, Jennifer Aniston was Reese Witherspoon. Like just watching them act against each other is just insane.
Yeah.
But it's also got like a really good cast of character actors. You'll recognize a bunch of them. But I've been starting to go on a deep dive with Steve Carell. I just bought Foxcatcher for $5, which I saw a few years
He's
ago.
been doing way more drama these days.
And honestly, good for him. Like the idea that he goes from lovable Michael Scott
Yep.
and then actively goes as like in this character, like you find out in the first 2 minutes, he's like a sexual predator.
Yeah.
So to watch Steve Carell just shift and like just bring these layers to these characters, it's just like next level.
Yeah.
But again, you get a ton of Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon.
Now, another person who's been going like a lot of drama recently that used to be or still is a comedian, Adam Sandler.
Did you see his newest trailer?
Yeah, the Spaceman one.
Every like 5 or 6 years, Sandler just pulls it back and just goes like, you know what? I'm gonna be no fart jokes this time.
Yeah. And that looks really good.
It looks really good. I just don't know if I can watch it because it just seems so sad.
So a lot of people are upset that it's releasing on Netflix.
They made the deal with him years ago.
I know the problem is people are saying that movie, like visuals wise, it looks like it deserves a theatrical release.
Which I mean, Netflix might
If
release it for 2 weeks.
if
You know what I'm saying?
that would probably make them more money.
Well, it's kind of weird because like I'm trying to think. Apple TV usually does it when they have movies come out. They usually like 2 weeks before
Mhm.
they'll do a limited release. Amazon Prime used to do it.
Mhm.
I don't know if Netflix ever did, but
Netflix hasn't. Wasn't there a movie, Five Nights at Freddy's? People could watch that on Peacock, but they went to the theater or watch it.
right.
So maybe
Peacock does it all the time.
Maybe this Spaceman movie is one that Netflix should trial run it.
Might be the way to go.
Like, even if you just do a 2 to 4 week release window, maybe the first 2 weeks exclusively in theater, then it hits streaming, and then it's streaming and theater for 2 more weeks.
It could be.
But yeah.
Or they do, honestly, Netflix, if they're getting enough money, do a legit theatrical release, wait a month, and then put it on Netflix.
Yeah.
Stretch it out. But if they're pretty much from that standpoint, it sounds like our TVs can't handle what they're trying to show us.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie, I watched the first half of the trailer and I forgot to go back. What's the premise? So he's in space. Does something go wrong, or is it just him missing his family?
He's in space. Him and his wife's marriage is falling apart because he's gone for so long. And then I'm pretty sure the premise is like that alien creature is there.
Okay.
And kind of helps. Somehow that alien creature is helping him see like how things would play out if things were differently, like in his head.
Oh, okay.
And I think it's kind of like getting him to realize like he needs to go back home. So it's like a psychological thriller, it seems.
What if it seems like it's a psychological thriller, and then like 5 minutes in, they just start doing typical Adam Sandler fart jokes, and he's just like lost in space?
That's already that's definitely gonna happen. You're gonna start off the movie, and there's gonna be this loud fart noise. They pan in, and it's him like zooming around the spaceship in zero gravity, laughing at his farts.
It'd be so funny if that's what happened. They pitch it as like a drama, and then all of a sudden you're just like, ooh, oh, this soup is too hot. It's kind of like
I hope he talks like that at some point in the movie.
If it's just like 50, like Click and 50 First Dates come to my attention, where it's just like, oh, these are hilarious, and then you go and watch them, and they're just so sad.
Oh,
but people love them.
Yeah.
So it's like, what if they just did the reverse? Like, this is going to be Adam Sandler's Oscar-winning moment, and he's just like, "Oh no, the alien! It's on my face."
That
that
deserves an Oscar nomination.
It's just him staring in a mirror for 2 hours, doing Adam Sandler voices to himself to entertain himself.
Oh my god!
He's just quoting back famous movie lines.
My mama says.
Yeah.
All right.
I did finish Santa Claus. I know we're at the end of it, so maybe next time we tackle Santa Claus season 2.
Okay. Well, did you enjoy it? We can hit it quickly.
I don't think you're allowed to say that anymore. We can hit it quickly. Damn it, Marco.
That's a Trump line.
Santa Claus season 2 should not. Again, I'm gonna get it as a sweatshirt. It should not be as good as it is.
No, it really shouldn't.
They say things like Kringleberry, and then it checks out. They're undoing writing from a one-off movie 30 years ago.
Yep.
And it works.
Yeah.
And every time they take out the giant thing to have a different clause on that little piece of paper, I love it. It's so good. And then the fact that they still have kids playing adults, and you bring back the Easter Bunny, just from start to finish, just so good.
Yep.
And the one that played Evil Santa was on a show called Modern Family. He kills it. I care about Evil Santa and his little dwarf. Like, the entire thing from start to finish when his family's
Which they had such
drama.
a ridiculous relationship.
Right.
That made no sense.
She likes marshmallows, but she doesn't like marshmallows. Enrique Iglesias, there's no reason he should have been as funny as he was in it.
Why was he in the show for as much as he was?
He's hilarious, and I love watching him do his thing.
Yeah.
But it's just like, do another season. Just keep giving it to me every year.
Oh, they're going to.
Is it locked in?
Tim Allen says he wants to go more sci-fi with the next one.
Amazing. And the idea that if it's because he gets to act with his daughter.
Well, that's it. That's one of the biggest things about this show with him.
Mm-hmm. I don't blame him, because this is like his second round of kids. So
Yeah.
like she's a teenager and he's like 70. So the idea that they get
Yeah.
to do this together is amazing.
Yeah. Now, I do have to say, I do think the show fell apart a little bit in that final episode.
You said that, and I didn't really get the same thing.
I liked the episode. The problem is they made it seem like there was going to be like this big battle, and then there was nothing. Which I know it's not that type of show, but I did think they were actually going to go there and switch things up a little bit.
I mean, but a candy cane versus an axe battle, it's the closest thing we've had to Game of Thrones in like 5 years.
It was more, I wanted one between the two Santa Clauses.
I see that. But also, like, at that point, like, you lose what the Santa Claus franchise is.
Yeah.
So I see why you'd be disappointed by that. But at the same time, the idea that he gets to still kick around
Yeah.
and be in show business, and I don't know, like, just so good.
Yeah.
Just, and my thing is just like, I feel like we don't give enough credit to the actress that plays Mrs. Claus, because at this point
she's great.
she's been in it almost as long as Tim Allen.
Yeah.
She is the second longest tenured character.
Yeah, she's been there since the second one.
Did the guy that played the stepdad, did he get canceled?
Judge Reinhold?
I think his name Judge Reinhold. Did Judge Reinhold get canceled? Because how is he not in it more?
Well, the wife hasn't been in it either. The ex-wife, has she?
Right. And
Or was
he
she in the
doesn't really-
first season?
I thought they were in the first season, but they really only talk about his son.
Again,
They don't
why,
really show
but
him
why was
anymore.
it Charlie in there in the second season? Bring him back. Where
That's
was
the thing,
Bernard? Was he
Bernard,
was
Bernard
he
they
too
brought
busy
back
with
and he got shit on
Oppenheimer?
pretty bad. Is Bernard in Oppenheimer?
Yes.
Then yeah, he's too busy. But also, who is the chubby little elf with glasses?
Charlie? No.
Charlie's the son, Bernard, and then like the sidekick, Ernest.
Yeah, something like that.
But anyways, bring him back for a quick cameo. I looked it up because I was just like, oh, they got like people in their 20s to be the elves this time. Nope, still teenagers.
Yeah.
I was so bummed out when Betty wasn't in it for
Yeah.
half the season. And I assume it's just because she wanted to go to prom in high school.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know for sure, but just so good. Like, I watched it in January, still holds up.
Yeah.
You don't even need Christmas around to do it.
But
So, that's my Santa Claus wrap up. Sorry it's so late. Had some stuff
Uh,
going on.
it's all right.
But now that we know they start 2 weeks into November, I'll be on top of it next year.
Yeah. Hopefully they
All right,
get
bud.
another season ready in time for November.
Oh, they will. All right, bud. Anything else you want to hit?
No, I think that's good. Like, yeah, there's other news here. Not sure if it's important though. So, it's just okay. Madam Web's going to be a disaster.
We all knew that. Yep.
Apparently Andrew Garfield was meant to be the Spider-Man of the universe, and it was supposed to be set in the 90s, a prequel to Andrew's Spider-Man films. The idea was then scrapped. Sony had to reshoot every scene set in the 90s to make Tom Holland the universe Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
And then they scrapped that idea.
It's just Sony can't get out of their own way. You know what would be better for Sony if they just didn't make these movies? Somehow it's better to do nothing than to do something.
Why don't they just have a deal with Marvel? Marvel handles it all, but has to just pay them a cut.
Yeah.
Wild idea.
Like, just this ridiculous, like, oh, now that we know that, bud, you're going to easily see it when you watch it.
Yeah.
When you go to a theater opening night, sit in the front row, pay for a ticket, and you're going to be able to tell me the next day, hey, you can tell where the editing is so bad.
And I can't wait to see the editing in it now. I can't
You're
wait to
good.
see everybody point it out.
You're going to be 45 minutes in and be like, how come no one has a cell phone?
Yeah.
Or it's going to be a digitally imposed cell phone over their fist as they're punching.
Yep.
So, all right, bud. Well, that was a depressing note to end on, but it's okay.
Well, no, we can end on a better note if you want to quickly.
Please, let's.
So, let's have a proposal for the next 2 seasons of Ted. So let's have season 2 be the last year of high school, getting through the end of high school, and then we do season 3, college.
And he just drops out at the end.
Not even drop out. Just have them go crazy.
Well, does he have a college degree? I thought the whole thing of Ted 1 was he didn't have a college degree.
Oh, is that it?
But anyways, maybe he meets Mila Kunis at the end of season 3. See, I want to stretch it out. They ended right around the New Year. They didn't do Valentine's Day, so I want to do the second half of this year.
Yeah.
Or did they? Did they do a time jump? Did they end his year this year?
They ended his year, yeah. They had prom.
They did because she left. Okay, never mind. So I want to do Ted summer vacation, an hour special, then go into senior year, and then, yeah, maybe community college and he drops out.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't find anything. I'll get back to you on that if he has a college degree.
Also, I just want to shout out, since you brought Ted back up, those Boston accents were so on point.
Oh,
And you never
it made
see
it
a
so good. Do
And
you
you
know,
never see like the real Boston accent.
do you know
on
what
screen.
somebody said about the movie?
What's that?
Or about the TV show? They said that Ted is the white person / Boston man's Black Panther.
Jeez. That is the most Boston thing they could have said.
It really is.
All right, bud.
All right.
Sorry for postponing last week. Thanks for catching up with me.
It's all right.
All right, you want to take us out of here?
Yeah, we've been Nerds in the Gym. And this episode was brought to you by Peacock. Watch Ted, please.
All right, I'm Brandon. That's Marco. We'll catch you later.
Bye.
Peace.